Spanish version of Cavite Immunity of 1872. The Spanish version of Cavite Immunity of 1872 was written by the Spanish historian named Jose Montero y Vidal in his book entitled Historia General de Filipinas. This narrative of Montero y Vidal, normally a good historian, was a woefully biased that Dr. H. Pardo de Tavera commented that he is narrating the Cavite episode does not speak as historian. He speaks as a Spaniard bent on perverting the fact at his pleasure. He is mischievously partial, unsupported by positive documentary evidence. This Spanish historian exaggerated the immunity of few disgruntled native soldiers and laborers into a revolt to overthrow Spanish rules movement and involve innocent Filipino patriotic leaders including Father Gomez, Father Burgos, and Father Zamora, Jose Maria Basa, Antonio Maria Regidor, Joaquin Pardo de Tavera, and others. Montero y Vidal versions of Cavite Immunity of 1872 in English translation follows. With the establishment of a government less radical than the one that appointed General La Torre, the latter was relieved from his post. His successors, D. Rafael D. Izquierdo, assumed control of the government of these islands on April 4, 1871. The most eventful episode of this rule was the Cavite Revolt of 1872. The abolition of this privilege enjoyed by the laborers of the Cavite arsenal, including exemption from tributes, was, according to some, the cause of insurrections. However, there were other causes. The Spanish Revolution was overthrown a secular thrones. The propaganda carried on by the unbridled presses against monarchical principles. The democratic and republican books and pamphlets, the speeches and preaching of the apostles of these new ideas in Spain. The outburst of the American publicists and a criminal policy of the senseless governor. The revolutionary government sent to govern the Philippines, and who put this idea into practices, were determining circumstances that give rise among certain Filipino to the idea of attaining their independence. It was toward to the goal that they started to work, with the powerful assistance of a certain section of the native clergy, who, out of spite toward the friars, made common cause with the enemies of mother country. At various times, but especially at the beginning of 1872, the authorities received anonymous communication with information that a great uprising would break out against the Spaniard once the fleet of Cavite left for the south. According to the information, all Spaniards, including the friars, would be assassinated. However, nobody gave importance to those notice. The conspiracy had been going on since the day of General La Torre with autonomous secrecy.